Lena, will you marry me? Caleb opened a small velvet box. Inside lay a ring crowned with a delicate emerald, a faint fracture running through the stone. For a moment, Lena looked queasy, perhaps a side effect of too much champagne. "CC Caleb," she stammered. Her eyes widened, filling with tears. Caleb wondered if they were tears of joy or of yes. She whispered, "Yes." A little louder. "Yes," she shouted. "Of course I'll marry you." They embraced, Lena clutching her fiancé so tightly that the ring slipped from the box. It hit the polished floor of the Ashford grill and rolled across the room until someone picked it up. Caleb rose, spotting the old woman who held it. He hesitated before approaching. Her face was hidden beneath a charcoal gray shawl. The hand holding the ring was withered and pale. She stood, voice trembling. "You must change the ring." Her thin hand extended. Caleb took the ring and looked down. "Excuse me?" he asked. But when he glanced up, the woman had vanished. He soon forgot her warning. The ring looked fine. Lena adored it. The next morning, Caleb's alarm rang at 6:30. He awoke smiling, replaying the happiest night of his life. He kissed the hand of his sleeping, only her hand visible beneath the quilt hand, slipped away to work at Haven & Co., the Manhattan modeling agency where he was a photographer known for capturing youth and light. He didn't realize it would be the last normal morning of his life. Lena stirred late, her back aching, vision hazy. She struggled to stand, a dull headache pounding. Reaching the bathroom, she rummaged through the cabinet for painkillers, never glancing at the mirror as she usually did. She swallowed 2 tablets and splashed water on her face. Finally, she straightened and looked up. A scream tore from her throat. Meanwhile, Caleb enjoyed his day behind the camera, feeling like a changed man, engaged, settled, certain of his path. He headed home whistling, key in hand. "Honey, I'm home," he called. Silence. He checked the living room, the kitchen, the downstairs bath. Empty. Panic rising, he bounded upstairs. There was Lena under the covers. "You gave me such a fright," he said, approaching. The quilt quivered. "Come on, that's enough jokin'." No answer. "You're scaring me, Lena." He yanked back the quilt and froze. An old woman sat sobbing, her hands thin and gray. On the ring finger of her left hand gleamed the emerald ring with its unmistakable crack. "Lena, don't look at me," she whispered, her voice identical to the woman from the restaurant. Caleb's stomach lurched, but he couldn't move. After a long, horrified minute, he stepped back. "I'm sorry," he said softly, and fled the room. Somewhere else in New York, a hooded figure entered the Ashford grill. She spotted a young couple laughing together. She took a seat nearby and waited. Hours later, the cafe emptied. Only the woman in the corner remained. She rose and walked out into the night. Following an invisible guide, she made her way to Central Park. As the clock tower of nearby Vanderbilt Mansion chimed midnight, she removed her hood, revealing a beautiful woman of around 40 with long flowing red hair. Her eyes shone green in the darkness. "This is the last one," she murmured, holding up the emerald ring. The last piece of the collection. She approached a large oak tree at the edge of the park, climbed its gnarled branches, and disappeared among its leaves. In the early hours, Caleb paced Lena's apartment, fear gnawing at him. He tried her mobile, but it went straight to voicemail. The apartment was empty. Where could she have gone? Had something terrible happened? He poured himself a glass of water, his hand shaking. In the bathroom, his reflection stared back. His normally sun-kissed skin was sallow. His blue eyes were dark with worry. He splashed cold water on his face, trying to summon his wits. What should he do? Just then, the front door opened. "Lena," he breathed, rushing forward. It was her, or rather the woman, who had taken Lena's form. She wore a simple white nightgown, her hair loose around her shoulders. "Where have you been? Why haven't you answered your phone?" Caleb asked, grasping her arms. She flinched. "I have been to the shop," she replied weakly. "The shop?" He frowned. "What shop?" But the old woman had already turned away. "I want to sleep," she said quietly. And Caleb watched helplessly as she got into bed. He followed her there, wanting to keep her safe, but there was no getting under the covers. She seemed repulsed by him. He felt her recoil whenever he touched her. "Why are you here?" she whispered, turning away again. Caleb knew he was only making things worse. He slid out of bed, not daring to speak. Maybe this was all some strange dream. Surely in the morning Lena would be back. In the meantime, he'd protect her somehow. He fetched blankets, pillows, and sleeping bags, making a makeshift fort in the living room. He curled up inside it, keeping watch. Hours passed. Dawn crept in, gray light filtering through the curtains. Still, Lena slept on, her breathing shallow. Caleb dozed fitfully, his dreams filled with the old woman and the fractured emerald. When he woke properly, Lena was gone. He rushed to the bedroom to find her sitting on the edge of the bed, back to him. "Lena, honey, you scared me," he said, taking a step forward. She didn't reply. Her shoulders shook. He reached out and gently touched her hair. She shuddered and spun around. "Stay away from me," she hissed. "Who are you? What have you done with my fiancé?" He recoiled, hurt flashing across his face. She looked away, tears brimming in her eyes. "It's no use," she whispered. "She's gone. The ring, it changed me." She told him everything. How she had woken up possessed by an ancient spirit bound to the emerald. how she had tried to resist, but the power of the ring was too great. And now there's nothing left of me, she cried. Caleb felt only concern. This wasn't the Lena he loved, nor the woman he had seen in the restaurant. Whoever she was, he wanted to help. She looked up, hope dawning in her eyes. Can you take me to the restaurant? To the place where I changed? Of course. But what will that do? The spirit is bound to the ring, she explained, but it can only be banished where it was summoned. We need to break the curse. Caleb wrapped her in the tightest hug he could manage. I won't let you go, she whispered. Thank you. At the restaurant, the woman changed once more, becoming the old crone from before. I must do this alone, she rasped, wringing her hands. I won't allow it, he said firmly. We face this together. She raised her head, eyes blazing with power. Foolish, mortal, you cannot help her, nor defeat me. With a flick of her wrist, shadows shot forth from her fingertips, coiling around Caleb. He gasped, thrashing to break free. The woman continued. Your love for her blinded you to her flaws, her sickness, her lies. Now you suffer the consequences. He strained against the shadows, fear clawing at him. Let me go, he choked. Please, you don't understand. I love her. I only want to help. The crone cackled. Ha, love. A foolish, fleeting emotion, nothing more than a chemical reaction. I, however, am eternal. With the emerald complete, I shall rule this world. She tightened her grip, draining the color from his face. Suddenly Caleb felt Lena beside him. Leave him alone, she commanded, her voice stronger than before. She pressed her palms against the shadows, which dissipated instantly. No, you won't help me, the crone snarled. Now you belong to me. She lunged at Lena, but she dodged easily, sending the ring flying. It rolled across the floor, stopping at Caleb's feet. He picked it up, the emerald glowing ominously. Lena approached, extending a hand. Give it here, she said. He placed the ring in her palm. Are you sure? Because you may not come back, he warned. She looked at the ring, then at him, her eyes shining with newfound strength. There's no choice. I have to try. She closed her fingers around the emerald and smiled sadly at Caleb. Thank you for everything, for showing me what it meant to be human. She leaned forward and kissed him, then tossed her head back and swallowed the ring whole. A blinding green light filled the room. When it faded, Lena stood where the crone had been. In her hand lay the emerald, now fractured no more. The woman stumbled back. How? She whispered. You broke the spell, Lena replied softly, though her tone was firm. Yes, but now I must find my own way, the woman said, her form flickering. I have lived so long, always seeking, always grasping, but never finding peace. Yet you found happiness and love. For that, I am grateful. She smiled, then vanished, leaving behind only the scent of old books and wood smoke. Outside, dawn broke over Manhattan, painting the skyscrapers in hues of rose and gold. Caleb and Lena embraced, her head resting on his shoulder. What will we do now? She asked quietly. He chuckled, kissing the top of her head. We get married, silly, and we start our lives together.